Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to be going over how I do my 90s and a few tips that really help me improve my technique. Now by no means do I have perfect 90s, but they're definitely good enough for me to make a video about, and as well as a lot of people ask me how I do them. So I'm just going to break down the steps I take to perform them and which fingers I use to press each button. Also, this isn't really a tutorial on how to do 90s because it's season 7, everyone should know how to do 90s by now. But in saying that, I see a lot of bot 90s in the community, so this could potentially help a few people out, especially people who are just starting to learn claw. And quickly before I start, if you guys could drop a like and subscribe, I make videos like this all the time, I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to catch me streaming, chuck them notifications on. I stream daily on YouTube. If not, all good. Let's get into the video. Alright, so we're in creative and I'm going to show you the 90s that I'm currently doing, and then I'm going to break it down step by step on how I do them. For those of you who might be new to the channel, I play claw on both sides. So if you're looking for a video on how to play claw, I made an in-depth guide on my channel that is well worth checking out. In fact, the response on that video has been insane, so thank you guys so much for that. I'll start off with my settings. I'm currently running an 8x and 8y sensitivity and a 1.5 build sense, as well as I have sprint by default turned on. If you haven't got it on, I highly recommend it. It took me a few days to get used to, but everyone that has it on says it's the best thing ever. This also assures you that your character is sprinting as soon as mechanically possible, rather than pressing L3 first. So these are the 90s I do in most situations. They may seem a bit insane, but that's just because of my high build sense. If I slowed them down, they'd look like this. The only reason I over-exaggerate the movements is because it's easier to put my analog stick in full lock circles rather than trying to do slower movements, especially when you're in the heat of the moment. Alright, so now let's break it down. So I start off on a ramp, and with my right middle finger, I press R2 and I hold it as I place these first 3 walls. And then as I'm about to place this bottom wall, I jump with my index finger. That bottom wall places. And then with my index finger comes up, off, jump, and then onto R1 midair, and then my left middle finger onto L2. So I get those first 2 walls, and as I get that 3rd wall, I jump. I sometimes get that bottom wall, sometimes it doesn't place. And then from jump, my index finger comes up, off X onto R1, and then my middle finger onto L2. So what I do see a lot of people do is I'll place these walls with their middle finger, and then they'll jump with their index, and then they'll use their middle finger to place the flat, and then place the ramp. So their middle finger goes from R2 to R1, whereas I prefer my index finger to press R1. It's more distance going from X to R1 with your index finger, but because you're mid-air, you kind of have that time to place it. And it's just personal preference. I can press R1 both with my index finger or with my middle finger in 90s. I just prefer my index. So if I just show you what this is a little faster, I place these walls, jump, and then flat ramp like that. So walls, jump, flat ramp. Walls, flat ramp. So I could use my middle finger for R1. So if I use my middle finger for R1, it would just look like this. It's the exact same thing. I just feel like because I'm not used to that, it just makes me, like, as you saw, I flick downwards. It just makes my aim a little off. I'm just used to my index. So now here's what it looks like a little faster. And then this is it at full speed. It's not hard at all to perform, it just takes a little bit of practice. The lower your sensitivity, the easier it will be, trust me. Here's a really good style of 90 you should practice in order to get the motion down. It really involves precise turns because you don't have that wall to stop you from falling off. I know people do them a bit more stylish like this, but there's no need, it's just for looks. If you feel like you're falling off those 90s too much, try setting up this little course I made up. All you have to do is run along the edge, and when you get to the corner, turn then jump. If you're jumping outside the barrier, it's most likely because you're jumping before you're turning. This really helped me get the angle in which I had to push the left analog stick in order to not fall off. Within no time, you should have it down pretty easy. As you can see, if I reset these walls, I now have a wall to grind off of, which means I won't fall off, but this slows down the momentum. So getting that perfect 90-degree turn is what you're looking for, and this course is perfect for that. I once heard someone say that grinding against a wall actually levitates your body. This is definitely not true. So just focus on getting those sharp, perfect 90-degree turns. It's all about building the foundation of your 90s before you start going into all the crazy shit that you see people do. Speaking of which, I'm going to demonstrate all the styles of 90s that come to mind and show you guys how I perform them playing claw. Some may look a bit weird, but that's just because I'm on high build sense.
Ever seen a nigga hung with a gold chain? I'd rather sing about the same things that we claim. Such as bashful with niggas like a task force, mobbing on the streets and robbing stores and ski masks, bruh. Niggas that's for preaching the riot and bring violence, cause it's a game of cat and mouse and you gon' bleed silent. What's the justice in saying fucking and grab the pump? To kill a woman with many children makes you a chump. Look at all the stores you reckon, nigga, I reckon. Think about the people who own it for about a second. I know you got your problem, but brother, they got theirs. This is not a gang for violence and grow repair, but show you rather hear me say fuck black president. Let's murder different races, grow hatred and form irrelevant views and etc. Knife thrown, damage them lies blown, oblivion, all cold, oblivious. I won't dare say that you should stop the fucking ignorance. Murder ops, killing shit, I'd enjoy the thrill of it. Bathing blood of officers, different corpses, offering them, auction them, don't you balk it.
The fuck you say to me?
Nah, but that pretty much covers everything you need to know about my 90s. It's just a quick basic video I thought I'd throw up on my channel for those who are curious. I'm just going to finish off the video with some clips I got from playing a few creative games. Keep in mind I don't do 1v1s that much, so I may look like a bit of a bot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.
Looking for a brighter season. Need to lay a burden down. Hey, you drowning in a helpless feeling,
Young blood sucker.
buried under deeper ground.
Yeah. Okay. I seem depressed, always being bothered, nevertheless. Keeping me out of prison and putting me to the test. They ask me what is happiness, you write it on the check. Or you feel it on the sweat, so your dick is in the breast, give me a second look. Okay. If death is what it seems, why is it so vividly portrayed within my dreams? Fear of understanding the devil's running its course. Hatred's not received, it's coming straight from the source. Remorse, as this time becomes a factor. Minds full of greed, disposing of benefactors. Backwards, pace backwards, effort is superficial. Only breaching the surface upon the earth. And flames engulf the earth. In prized possessions they incinerate. This is far beyond any director tried to demonstrate. See the record, here's the record, take the record, set it straight, perplexed. Only receive slumber when at heaven gates. And this is fairly simple for your grab. Try and contemplate your conversates, hesitate and navigate your inner traits. Back to a time where minds would just matter. If you stated opinions, your bones would begin to shatter. It didn't matter back then, cause there was no reacting, acting up. Chevy and black. Accurate fact for the black. In fact, if you thought that you were free, you should disregard that. All fact. Young Exter, call me a young Dexter. My hypothesis is death ain't shit. I'd rather die than be alive in this life. Honestly, full of strife and strife. Yeah.
Oh, that was a full pellet headshot. Oh my god, of course that wasn't my fucking wall, can't like shitting me.